live? Are we live? Are we live? You guys will have to tell me if we're live. Let me look. Oh, we are live. What's up? Hello, everybody.
I want to start with a big picture snapshot of where we are in terms of the city budget. So, the mayor's own office is projecting a $4 billion budget deficit starting in 2023, 2 years from now. 2 years are being made whole by the $5.9 billion in federal aid that we're receiving. But I'm going to speak for just about every New Yorker, I think, where if I told you that 3 years from now, you're going to be facing a massive deficit, and here's some money up front, what would you do? You would probably think, hey, maybe I should take some of this money and apply it towards this deficit I see coming so that it's not a cliff you're facing, but maybe a gradual descent. We have to face facts that despite this incredible windfall of federal aid that is being led by New York's own Chuck Schumer, we're incredibly grateful for, and I'm so proud to have played some part in helping Democrats win the Senate so that we get this aid. But despite this aid, we should know that our city still needs to get its financial house in order, or we will be faced with very, very difficult decisions in 3 short years. So that's the backdrop. Now, why are we here today at this large, beautiful, vacant lot? It's because we have to look right now at creative ways that we can go generate revenue for and drive value in New York City. And this giant vacant lot and the adjacent lot, you can see it's right next to the UN, it's on the East River, it's got a ton of potential. Hey, stop, sir. Thank you, appreciate you. Look at that. Must have seen the ad. I don't even think that ad's on TV yet, so I don't know how we could have seen it. Maybe saw it online. Anyway, so you can see that this lot has tremendous potential, and the city assessors agree. This lot and the adjacent lot have been assessed at $700 million. But unfortunately, nothing's happening here. And the way our city's assessment system works right now is that if you have a vacant lot, it gets assessed at less than 20% of the commercial value. So this $700 million plot of land, right now, the owner is paying just $10 million in annual taxes to hold this land and have it lying vacant. And we can see that this is not a win for New York City. This is a piece of land that has so much potential. Again, $700 million of commercial value. So we have to do two things at once. We have to see to it that the city's actually getting a more appropriate level of revenue for lots like this one, but also provide a spur to the owner to actually make use of the land. I mean, on this lot, back in 2008, 13 years ago, the city authorized a $4 billion plan to develop this lot. That's 13 years ago, and here we are. And as we can see, not a whole lot is going on. In 2018, 3 years ago, what was proposed was a plan for housing coupled with biotech office space, which might have made a lot of sense given the nature of this neighborhood and the fact that we're close to very major medical centers. As you can see, there's no condo or housing or biotech space in sight. So what we have here is a situation where the landowner can hold on to the asset, in this case the $700 million plot of land, and just hold it indefinitely because the cost of them doing so is not commensurate to the actual value of the land. Now what we are proposing, my office is proposing, is that we actually can assess these vacant lots at their true value as opposed to this very, very deeply discounted rate that we're currently using at less than 20% of the commercial value. And if we were to value this at its full value, then instead of receiving $10 million a year, New York City will be receiving $30 million a year, which would be much more appropriate and would provide a much more powerful spur for the owner to actually make use of this land. And so the message is, look, if you own an incredibly valuable piece of land in New York City, you should either make use of it or you should sell it to someone who's going to make use of it. You should not hold it as essentially an indefinite asset class because we're all losing in that situation. So hopefully this makes sense to New Yorkers that this is a way we can get some more revenue coming into the city in a way that actually drives value. And as mayor, I'm committed to making it easier to build in New York City. And this change will actually be a spur to building more in New York. We're going to amend the practice of member deference and try and make it so that there aren't as many impediments to projects moving forward. Now there are other ideas we have too, proposals to help generate revenue. I'm going to call out one in particular. There are major landowners here in New York City that are property tax exempt, often because they're major nonprofit institutions. And I'm going to call out one, my alma mater, Columbia University. Now look, Columbia is a great institution, but it gets a lot of value from being here in New York City. It's got an endowment of $12 billion, and it can afford to pay a little bit more. There are peer institutions to Columbia, let's call one of them Harvard, that have been paying tens, even hundreds of millions of dollars into local coffers that are not required by law because it's the right thing to do. And here in our time of need here in New York City, I think Columbia can be brought to the table to make a contribution that's more fair. There are other very significant nonprofit landowners like Columbia University that I believe can be brought to do something similar. So here are some of the proposals we have to help generate revenue and also help move our city forward in a way that will make use of beautiful, valuable, yet still vacant lots like the one we see before us right now. So that is a bit about how we're going to generate revenue and get our city moving forward again. And now I'm very happy and proud to introduce my friend, current city council member, and I'm so proud to have him as an endorser and a part of this campaign, Carlos Menchaca.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everyone, and buenas tardes, everyone. I'm Carlos Menchaca, City Council member, and I'm here to stand up with Andrew and the campaign to really bring light. Not only are we standing in front of a vacant lot, but we're standing in front of opportunity. This is the thing that is so important about this campaign. This is about moving the city forward by pointing out the opportunity that we have. How do we do that? By making sure that everyone pays their fair share. This land could be jobs, retail, housing, all of that mixed. The zoning here is actually pretty rich to be able to bring us different ideas, but I want to bring in the component of resiliency. I'm in Red Hook. This is a waterfront property. This could actually help create resiliency for the upland properties to really protect the island of Manhattan. All of those things are nowhere right now. And what this plan will do is actually bring revenue to the city, revenue that is much needed. You know, I was just on a public hearing with DYCD and the executive budget. We were talking about all the things that people need. But what we also need to do, and this is what Andrew said in the beginning, and I hope you heard him, we need to save some of this money for the future. The deficits are real, and as someone who has been negotiating budgets in the city council for the last 6-7 years, I want to make sure that we have the savings in that for our city as we move forward. So I'm here to stand with you, Andrew, and let's move the city forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you. I guess we'll take this mask off. We'll take some questions. Jackie?
So high land costs are one of the biggest barriers to development in the city. How would what you're proposing interact with that? Could it worsen it?
Well, every vacant lot we're talking about right now has an owner. And so when you talk about the high cost of land, what we're doing is providing incentives for landowners to do what they say they're going to do with these properties, which is actually make use of them and develop them in a way that works for New Yorkers. If we do this, then you'll see that properties will actually, I believe, be priced closer to their developable value, because people won't see them as an investment class, but actually as something they have to make use of very quickly.
Andrew?
There's a new poll that shows Eric Adams in front of you for the first time. To what degree are you concerned that his message, which is focused on public safety, is attracting more attention for New Yorkers than your economically focused message?
Well, I'm very, very concerned about public safety. When I talk to New Yorkers, it's very, very clear that it's on all of our minds. I will say, though, that the only poll we're concerned about is the poll on June 22nd. And the early voting poll on June 12th, and then the early voting poll on June 13th. So we've got to make sure that people come out to vote come June 12th. We feel great about where the campaign is.
Chanel? Good. Johnny, another one?
I have a question for Councilmember Menchaca. I'm curious what you think about the proposal to end member deference. I know that you wrote an op-ed with Councilmember Van Bramer when Industry City was happening, defending member deference. What do you think about the proposal to get rid of it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think Andrew is bringing to this whole conversation is really disrupting the status quo. The status quo has not helped us in this city at all. What I'm concerned about is community deference. That's bringing the voices, and this is something we talk about a lot. How do we bring new voices to this conversation to allow for folks that have not been involved in this conversation of development get added to this conversation? I was never in support of member deference. I wanted to change the system so that we could bring more voices, and that's what we don't have today, and I think this is what we're going to do in this administration.
How many of these lots are there that you think $20 million here would be $20 million, but in the scope of the city budget, it's not a lot of money?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Isaac. I actually have those numbers for you. So the vacant lots here in New York City amount to about $20 billion worth of land, but it's being assessed at closer to $3 billion in value because of the city's current practices. And that if you were to assess them at their true value and then charge them taxes based on that value, the revenue on an annual basis to New York City would be up to $900 million a year. Now, keep in mind that if everything went to plan, we would not be getting all of that in part because people would be developing the land and making use of it. But the potential revenue is very significant given the number of vacant lots in the city right now that are developable.
Talk about Columbia. Do you think that the city's decisions about eminent domain and giving Columbia the freedom to develop the way that it's had is the right thing to do, or is that a mistake?
Well, I think that New York City has been great to Columbia University, and that most people believe that there's a principle of fairness, and that Columbia University should be there, which I didn't expect.
You already told me the scarf wasn't making it to June.
Yeah, I don't expect it to. We'll see. Thanks for being here, Carlos. Yeah. You look great.
Great.
Oh my God, have you met Isaac?
Isaac, hi. Isaac, how are you? Good to see you.
All right, team. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open up the donations for a donation shout out, but since Andrew's about to leave, we'll have to get them tomorrow. But any donations that come in, well, actually, so somebody actually did donate $250 last night, and well, not last night. Yesterday, somebody donated $250 in between our two streams. So technically, there was a donation shout-out leader yesterday, but I didn't even advertise it, so I'm not sure. But today, if you would like a shout out from Andrew Yang, all you gotta do is donate using the link in the description. You go to secure.actblue.com/yanggame, YANGGAME. As Darla says, Yang's in second place. He needs your help. He's no longer the front runner. It's great. We're back to being the underdogs. And that's where we want to be. So everybody gotta go right now. You have to donate. Andrew Yang needs your money. Andrew Yang is requesting your funds, your services. If you can't donate, you can still help the campaign. All you gotta do is go to yangfornewyork.com, yang4ny.com/volunteer, and you can sign up to text bank, to phone bank, to Canvas. Text banking with the Yang for New York campaign is so easy because they give you all these prompts and scripts, and you don't even really have to do much, and you can manage like 50 different conversations at the same time. It's really awesome. So just make sure you donate, make sure you text, make sure you phone bank. If anybody wants to put the link, the donation link, the special donation link, the referral link, that way I can see the donation come in. And unfortunately, I have. So we're using this thing. But I was gonna get to the press conference like 10 minutes early, but then I took the wrong bus and ended up getting here late. So what I was gonna do is I was gonna set this thing on the podium. That way we could have perfect audio. If you look, podium. I was gonna put this on the podium so we could have perfect audio, but I got here late. So sorry about that. Hopefully in the future we'll have better audio, because right now the campaign's destroying us in terms of audio. But that's actually a good thing, because for so long all I wanted was for the Yang campaign to have a functioning, high quality, good audio live stream, and I'm happy to say they've finally done it. So shout out to the Yang campaign. Oops, what just happened? Oopsie doopsie. I heard Andrew say Andrew Yang for mayor. Looks like he's doing some sort of like interview. We're missing the exclusive. So this here on the left, some of you are asking who this is. This is Carlos Menchaca. He's I think New York City Council member, District 38. And he was actually running for mayor up until a few months ago, but then he, I guess, wasn't getting the momentum he was looking for, decided to call it a campaign. But just because you call it a campaign doesn't mean you still can't make a difference in citywide politics. So now he has decided that Andrew Yang is the man to lead the city out of the COVID crisis and get the city thriving again. And he's here supporting Andrew, endorsed his campaign, which is awesome. And, let me get the camera back on Andrew. It's a very nice day. So yesterday it was all rainy, and today it's sunny and, like, not hot, but not it's not cold. Does that make sense? So it's the best of both worlds. It's like a perfect day, I'd say. Yeah, Menchaca's on the right side of history. So here's the thing. Currently, though, in the mayoral race, the latest poll that's come out, so those who aren't familiar, there was a new poll that came out yesterday. It has Eric Adams leading the mayoral race with 21% of the vote, and then Andrew Yang in second place with 15% of the vote. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Eric Adams. Eric Adams, back in like 1997, or it might have been 1993, and I know it sounds, you're like, 30 years ago, doesn't matter, but it goes to show the character of the person. And this is like behavior that if you actually read some articles and like go through its background, it's a consistent pattern of just being like just kind of disgusting, to be honest. So basically in 1993, he was running in a race against this guy named Herman Badillo, who was a Hispanic politician. And then Adams said that Badillo had betrayed, and Adams was running against him. Adams said that Herman Badillo betrayed the Latino community by marrying a white Jewish woman. Like, can you imagine that? Saying that? It's kind of wild. So that's one thing. He also sorts stuff for us. Let's look at the chat. Darla says, already read that one. Gavin says the poll was an outlier. It's an outlier for now. I mean, I'm not going to overreact to one poll. I like Andrew, what he said today. He says the only poll that matters is the poll on June 22nd. And honestly, he said the same thing back when he was running for president, and he was polling at 2%. He said the only poll that matters is the one on Election Day. Now, he's been polling in first most of the race, and his message is still the same. The only poll that matters is on Election Day. So.
And then like riding my bike.
Yeah, I agree, Ubzi. We need to work harder to elect Yang. We cannot lose to Adams. Correct. We definitely can't lose to Adams. We can't lose, period, but especially not to Adams. Though I think Adams is honestly like the only person who can really beat Yang, especially since Stringer's campaign is like in the gutter. No donations have came in yet, but if you would like a shout out from Andrew Yang himself, all you got to do is donate, because we don't currently have a donation leader, which means just $5 gets you the donation. Just $5. Just $5 gets you the donation. Yukon Man, I hope he wins too, but you know what we do here in the Yang Gang? We don't hope for things, we make things happen. Rather than hope for it to happen, we work to make it happen. So make sure you donate, make sure you volunteer, make sure you phone bake if you can. Coming out to New York City. I think Andrew just waved to us, but I missed it. If you can, come out to New York City. Guys, follow the donation link. Donate here. Isaiah just put it in chat. It's secure.actblue.com/donate/yanggame. All your donations go directly to this man right here, Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang. He waved at you guys. You know what that was? Andrew was waving because he knows that there are 73 of y'all watching right here, right now. And he's relying on us. Andrew's relying on us to propel his campaign through the finish line. One thing someone was telling me this morning, they were like, I think a lot of Yang Gang just think it's like a given that Yang's going to win this race, or like that he just has it in the bag. And I've never thought that. I thought before he had entered, like, we have to run a good campaign. One, like, most importantly, we have to run a good campaign. And I think we are running a good campaign. But, like, the second thing, we can't, like, take things for granted or, like, assume we have something locked up. Like, you don't count your chickens before they hatch. So and I think a lot of people do have the same mindset as that one, like, that we got to put it all on the line and not leave anything out on the field. But it's like, it's crunch time. There's like 45 days left. The first debate is in, I believe, a week. And things are really moving. Things are really happening. It's awesome to have somebody like Carlos backing this campaign, getting the daps from Andrew. And there goes Carlos. He's off. Somebody asked, the poll did not have... Oh, thanks, Yinju. Appreciate that. Someone said, the poll did not have RCV data. It might have had RCV data. I did not see RCV data, which is interesting. But, I mean, either way, it's like, we're going to... There's nobody who's donated yet, but maybe, do you have a pitch, your donation pitch?
Please do make a donation. We're the home stretch of this campaign. We have every chance to win, but we need your help. Make a donation today. If you saw that ad we just put up, you're going to help keep that ad on the airwaves, so really, really appreciate it. And if you make a donation, I'll give you a shout out right now. Matt?
I don't think it'll come in this quick.
All right, that's fine.
Tomorrow.
Next time.
Tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow I'll give him a shout out.
We gotta run.
Do you know what percentage of Americans are vaccinated at this point?
Oh, you heard it from Andrew himself. He wants everybody to donate. So you gotta donate right now. You gotta donate right now. What was I saying? In terms of like so like going through and being like, did the poll include RCV data? Like, it just doesn't matter, because like the state of the race and what's actually the reality here on the ground doesn't change based on like what a second choice or a third choice or like a fourth choice or a fifth choice ranking. Like, it's just numbers. It's just like what actually matters is how people actually like feel here on the ground. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. Can somebody block whatever? Remember, to donate, you gotta go use the special link in the description, because the only way I can see the donation and see who donated is if you use our Special Act Blue link. Our Special Act Blue link. Like, what was I trying to say about the poll, though? Like, basically, if...
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, bye, everyone.
Basically, what was I going to say about the poll? It was like, oh, look, Andrew's meeting a fan. And there he goes. See, Andrew Yang is off. Yeah, thank you for the donations to the channel. If you guys want to donate to Andrew Yang, though... Oops, just messed this up.
Do you need help?
Oops. But if you guys want to donate to Andrew Yang, you have to use the special Secure Act Blue link in the description. Listen to Ovs. Ovs says Yang is our only hope. Everyone remember to donate, volunteer, and vote. Most importantly, vote. But also volunteering is also pretty helpful. And same with donating. So this was the only event today, like that Yang has, that's like a public event like this. But at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 8 o'clock, there's gonna be a canvassing event. Matt, where's Mark today? Well, let me explain what's going on and everything. One sec. Let me set my tripod up. Let me put, because basically this thing. So this is so cool. My like audio device I have here, because I'm wireless, but it's plugged into the phone. So tomorrow's stream, if it sucks, if I didn't miss the bus, we would have had perfect audio for the stream. Is that the site of the former Con Ed plant? I don't know what this site is here, but Yang was saying that the value of this lot, the value of this empty lot, is valued at $750 million. $750 million. Can you believe that? But what was Yang said? Some number, 900 million. I have to rewatch his press conference and figure out what he meant, like what that 900 million number was in reference to. Because basically, people have been saying that, oh, Yang doesn't know how to pay for his basic income. He's going to cut the social services. No. Now we actually have real numbers, 900 million. We'd be like, well, look, Yang has this plan. It's going to raise $900 million in revenue, and his basic income plan is going to cost $1 billion. So you can't say, like, it's funded. Like, when these people say that's, I mean, it was already disingenuous, right? But now we have actual numbers. Oh, am I yelling? Sorry. Yeah, that's correct, Obzi. But this, I said, this is 700. This lot is 750 million. 700. Oh shit! It's windy here. Oh, thank you, Zareta. Zareta for the $25 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you so much, Zareta. Let's go. Shout out to Zareta. Zareta is currently. Oh, wait a second. $5 donation from Darla. They're starting to roll in. Woo! $5 donation from Darla. $5 donation from Darla. $25 from Zoreta. Oops. What's happening here? How do we have... So we now have 83 people watching, right? But we had 73 people when Yang was speaking. So my theory is that there's people who are watching the stream on the Yang YouTube channel because they have better audio. That's why we have to step up our audio game. Because our quality's good. Our quality, the quality's not a problem. I wonder if we could actually, we're on 720p right now. I wonder if we could pull 1080p. But Zareta, you're the donation shout out leader. What was I going to say though? Clip it on your shirt? Oh, you like my shirt? No, thank you, Andrew. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being an ardent supporter of Yang Gang. The shirt is fire. Peeking the mic a little bit. Sorry. I don't know why I'm so excited today. Oh, let me explain where Mark is. Mark Clock, you guys know him, takes great pictures. He is currently with Evelyn. Evelyn today. Evelyn Yang is doing actually a solo canvassing event. Just going around, walking the streets of New York, talking to voters, explaining why they should vote for her husband, Andrew Yang. Hello Man says it won't help if you scream in the mic. That's a good point. Sorry about that. I just got really excited for a second. Yeah, UN building is in the back. I guess this is the site of the former Con Edison plant. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate you, Obzy. Our only problem is right now, I've received during the stream $30 in personal donations, but during the stream, Andrew Yang has only received $30 in donations. I should be receiving like 0.1% of what Andrew gets, or less. So, what we need to do now is, since we have $30 in personal donations, we have to raise approximately $30,000 during the stream right here, right now. And we're going to be streaming till we hit the $30,000 number. So buckle in. It might be a while. Carolyn says, I've been supporting Yang's candidacy since he started his run for president. I fully support a universal basic income, but I would be very disappointed if Andrew supported an income-limited plan. Yeah, I definitely feel that, Carolyn. Like, you definitely wish, like, you really wish that Yang's plan was like a true universal basic income at the city level. And it's just not. But I think there's some good reasons why. I want to point back to my first ever interview with Andrew Yang on my YouTube channel. I asked him, what would a local, like if a mayor wanted to do a local UBI, like what would that look like? And I asked the question, like knowing that there were like rumors even last year, like saying, like last spring, that he was like thinking about running for mayor. And his like response was like, well, Matt, now you see why, because I asked him the questions, like there might be issues with like how you pay for it and who gets it, like if you live in the city but you work somewhere else, like all that, or work in the city but live somewhere else. And he's basically like, well, Matt, now you see why I ran for president. Because it's actually pretty difficult to do like a universal basic income on the city level. Like, but I mean, the main thing here in New York, the problem is they just said they're facing a major budget shortfall. The city is currently running out of money. The infrastructure is breaking down, and I don't know how much of this has to do with anything. Taxpayers like leaving the city, like during COVID and stuff like that, like going to Florida and all the rest of it. Like New York City's facing like a real budget crunch, like a real budget shortfall, and like Yang. How much would it cost to do a universal basic income to New York City? Like a real universal basic income. And let's just do it at like $200 a month, because that's reasonable. So $200 a month times 12 would be $2,400 a year. And then there's got to be like what, 7 million adults in New York City? So do the math. 7 million times 2,400. I think it's like going to be 15 billion or so. 2,400 times 7 million. $16.8 billion. It would cost $16.8 billion. It's a lot of money. The New York City budget is about $90 billion. So if Yang were to do like a true $200 universal basic income for New York, it would cost about 1/5 of the city's budget. Which is like, it's not the craziest number, but it's like, to put this in perspective, New York City's police budget, New York City is like the largest, if not like one of the largest, if not the largest police forces in the world. The NYPD police budget alone is larger than like several major countries' military budgets. I don't know about major countries, but several countries that you would have heard of as military budgets. The the universal basic income would cost nearly 3 times as much money as the police budget. So it's like, even like people say, like, well, cut the police budget. Even if you were to just axe the police department, which is not even a on the table option, because the fact of the matter is, here in New York City, despite what the activists and the Twitter people say online, people are really worried about crime and safety, like here. And I think most, especially like the more working class and like the outer boroughs, like more like working class neighborhoods, like outside of like Brooklyn and Manhattan. Like, a lot of people want police in their neighborhoods. But even if you were to go under that scenario where you got rid of the police, it still only covers 1/3 of it. So that's like kind of going into the math of why you can't necessarily do a full universal basic income. And that's like Yang's answer, is he'll say, like, look, everybody knows, like, if I had my way about it, we'd be doing a full universal basic income for New York. But that's just not feasible on the city level. All right, let me see what's going on in chat. Glenn says there's a lot to be excited about. Royal says get an exclusive interview. Maybe. Yang's pretty busy, so I don't like asking that. Jukta, thank you so much for the donation to the channel. I really appreciate you. Royal says, even if the budget was great, you can't do a UBI on a city level. You would need to quadruple the... Well, quadruple the budget. I went through the math, so we don't need to go back through that. But wood has gone up in price. I can't wait till I can fix my bridge. Oh, yeah, wood prices are ridiculous. It's up like 3x. It's insane. Daniel says, the biggest myth about spending is that all spending is bad. Remember, certain spending, such as investing, is helpful and designed to have higher returns than the investment. That's a good point, Daniel. Because the fact of the matter, and I think somebody else pointed this too in chat, is the universal basic income, or like really any money, even Yang's cash relief plan, which isn't a universal basic income, but it is direct cash relief to people who need it most, and it would help people. What point was I going to make? What was Daniel's comment? Yeah, like even that money's going to circulate back into the economy. So, and hopefully raise even more tax revenue. But I think what I was going to say is, like, Yang got beat up during his presidential campaign because even though he had a way to pay for his basic income plan, people were just like, it's too expensive. Oh, it's unrealistic. You can't pay for that. Never going to happen. You cannot make a real case that Andrew couldn't implement his basic income plan here in New York. It's $1 billion. 500,000 people, $2,000 a year to start. His plan is to do it up to 5,000 with more philanthropic support. But the initial $1 billion is going to be city money, so it's doable. Like, you can't attack Andrew and say like during the debate, you can't be like using the $16.8 billion number we said. $16.8 billion? You're never going to be able to pay for that. Where's the money going to come from? Yang can come up with the $1 billion, and I think that's what he did today at his press conference. He mentioned that 900 million number. So, Endrum Sue says, "Where are you at? I want to show up." Yo, what's up, Nell? Dude, Nell, what are you up to? I'm by the UN building. Where are you at? Nice, hello, man. Thanks, Ivy. Yeah, Daniel. No, thank you, Toby. Thank you. That would be awesome. Come to New York in June. Come to New York in June. Come to New York in June. Thank you, Haley. Haley Lee. Haley. 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 For the $25 donation. Thank you so much for the $25 donation to the Yang campaign. I don't know, Daniel. I really don't know. In theory, right? It would boost. It would boost the economy. Giving money to people who then spend it boosts the economy. Oh yeah, no. Bumper stickers for the top donation? Okay. We're gonna do some shout outs tomorrow. We're gonna do some shout outs tomorrow for the top donation as well. So Andrew, what is Andrew doing tomorrow? So once again, today, this was the only public event today, but there's going to be some canvassing later between 4 and 8 that I'll be going to with Shane Moynihan, probably some Mark Clock, and we might live stream that on Twitch. I probably will live stream that on Twitch. Because Gavin, if you're watching still, Gavin, he messaged me, he wants me to live stream on Twitch. So we're happy to oblige. If you spread out, you end up paving more. Alright. But I think overall, this is probably a good spot to cut the stream. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do now, because what time is it? It is 12:49, but I'm not. My canvassing thing doesn't start till 4. So, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Remember, just because a new poll came out that doesn't show Andrew Yang in first, it doesn't really change anything, because our whole thing has been pedal. The polls don't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if we're 20 points ahead or 20 points behind. We're going to give it our all, no matter what. And that's what Andrew would expect. Food stream at some point? Ooh. All right. Thank you, all 90 of you, for tuning in. Food, dude, I'm out. I'll see all of you guys tomorrow or later on Twitch. Thank you, Trickle Up. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, All Back. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Darla. See if we got any more donations for Yang. No more donations for Yang. But I will say, if you're watching this and you want a donation from Yang, a shout out from Yang, donate. And basically the top. I'll do the 3 highest between now and the first event tomorrow. The 3 highest donations will get the shout out. Right now, we have 2 $25 donations from Haley, and I think it was Jessica. Let me check. No, Zareta. So thank you so much. We had 3 donors to Yang during the stream. Haley, Zareta, and Darla. We need to step it up. Yeah, 1 second. All right, 1 second. Stream. Oh, no problem. Oh, just myself.
Oh, just a second.
Yeah, my face.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? What? Not the bags? Oh. Okay.
Good?
Yeah, the crate, yeah.
Okay. If you do, just let me know. Alright, sorry about that. Somebody needed help getting something across the street, and I had to help them. So, yeah. Alright. I'll see you guys. Take care. Make sure you donate to Yang. Donate to Yang. Everybody do your part to donate to Yang. We need the donations. I don't know how we got more donations to me during this stream. What I'll do is I'll just donate your guys' money that you donated to me to Yang. Ding! Alright. See you guys later.